Rev up your engines!
Okay, the GM strike is still on. It's about a week later. They're having disputes over lots of different things. But as far as I'm concerned, the main thing is the shuttering of their plants, the closing of their plants. It's only a matter of time, as far as I'm concerned, seeing how these corporations work, that they're going to be moving the stuff to China. I can easily see they're going to move production over there. Look at Tesla. Soon they're opening their Model 3 factory in China. I can see GM's doing the same thing. And this is kind of like the last gasp of the labor unions going on strike against them, because they really don't have much of a bargaining chip, because the corporations will just say, oh, well, too much money, we're not making money here, we'll shut all our plants down here and make them all in China. Obviously, that's going to happen in the long run, one way or the other. These are like fighting over the short-term things. From what I know of the labor stuff, they got all kinds of deals going on at the car factories. They're trying to get rid of the older workers that have these benefits that are written in, and they're trying to replace them with younger workers that they hardly pay anything at all. Really is one of the reasons, as far as I'm concerned, that GM quality is so low, is because, hey, they're paying their workers as little as they possibly can, so they're not going to be that motivated. When I was a young mechanic in the 60s, working in a factory was seen as a good job, a good paying job, middle-class family. They'd raise their family, send their kids to college and stuff, but it's not that way anymore. So I think this GM strike is kind of pretty much the beginning of the end. Producing cars in the United States in a mass scale, that it's just going to be kind of scaling down from now on. And yeah, they'll always make some cars, like maybe there'll be a specialty thing, a company in Detroit that going to be making all these electric trucks, and maybe they'll make electric trucks there for a certain scenario. They're going to be reasonably expensive trucks in the beginning, so they're going for the higher end market, which is what they always seem to be going for with these corporations in the United States, looking at the higher end one. As far as I'm concerned, that's a mistake, because it's the volume one that counts. The one that you sell a whole bunch of them, not just that you sell a few of the high-end ones, you sell a lot of the middle or lower-end ones, but, you know, that's a status thing a lot of those people have. But regardless of that, I don't think that the production of cars in the United States is going to be ramping up anytime soon. Merger in, I believe it's Alabama, where they're making cars together, Toyota and Mazda. And part of that, of course, is a political thing, too, that the Japanese realize, hey, we don't want them mad at us and banning us from bringing cars into the country, so if we make them there, then they're not going to kick us out. Which is kind of interesting, because GM's going the opposite way. They're pulling out of the United States, and they're the American car company. Maybe it'll come to the point that Toyota will be more of an American car company than the American car companies. Who knows? Well, Clay says, Scotty, I got a 2017 Subaru Forester with 15,000 miles on it. Owned it for 3 years, got brand new, and the AC condenser failed already. Now it's jerking when I'm driving it. Should I keep it longer or get a Honda or a Toyota RAV4? Get rid of it and get the Honda if you're in it for the long run. The Subarus are junk, as you found out. The condenser already broke on it with 15,000 miles. You know, what a piece of crap. Subarus always had air conditioning problems, dude. Their engines, their automatic transmissions, their AC systems, they're all garbage. The Honda you'll probably be really happy with. I've got customers with them. The RAV4s are good too, but you like the Honda, they're relatively similar. So get the Honda if you like. Then in the long run, you can drive that probably for decades if you take care of it and not have to worry about it, because eventually the Subaru will just fall apart in front of your very eyes. And now at least it's new enough you can get some money for it. Just get rid of the stupid thing and never buy another one. Shaggy Medic says, Scotty, I got an '08 Lincoln Navigator, 267,000 miles. I had suspension work done, tie rod, upper control arm, sway bar on the driver's side. Recently, when you turn the wheel, it takes a little strength to turn it, like it gets stuck halfway when turning. What could be the problem? Well, any one suspension part can do that. If you didn't do both sides, odds are the other side is dragging now. You might have to have the same kind of parts changed. Or the steering rack itself is getting old and it's binding. It's got a lot of mileage on it. You might try this. I got a video on that, fixing binding power steering. Just type into Google or YouTube, fixing binding power steering Scotty, and you'll see how you can flush it out yourself. And if that fixes it, was the power steering rack. If not, then you got a suspension part. Take back to the guy who did the work, have them check their work, and then have them check the other side if they didn't do the other side. Because if it binds anywhere, it's going to do that. Doesn't matter which side it's binding on. It's going to make the steering turn weird, because one side's binding and they're both connected together, so it'll still do it. Even if one side's clean, if the other side's bad, it'll make it bind. Mark Waddy says, Scott, I got an '07 Toyota Axial Luxel 1.8 with 135,000 kilometers on it. My engine's consuming oil and there's no smoke or leakage in car. I'm upset. Okay, well, you kind of screwed there, because some of those in the United States, that's not an American model, but in the United States, Toyota had to fix the engines. They had to take them apart, put in new piston rings and stuff. Just keep adding oil, because you'd have to rebuild the engine and say you're going to put in a used engine. The only thing that's going to fit is another one of those, and it's going to have the same problem because they didn't build them right in the first place. So my advice is just keep adding oil. Oil's cheap, and then drive it. A lot of times I'll say, well, you could try a used engine, but in that case, no, because they're all bad, and you'll just go from one problem to another just putting a used engine in. Now, if you don't mind paying to have the engine completely rebuilt, go right ahead, but that's a lot of money. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.